My name is Lauren Foster, and today I turned 18, a milestone where I expected at least a call or text marking my step into adulthood. Instead, as I checked my phone during my morning shift, I stumbled onto Facebook and saw the betrayal photos of my entire family throwing a surprise party last night for my sister. The caption screamed, "My dearest baby." I fired off a comment. "Has that baby paid the rent yet?" My mom exploded in the replies, turning the thread into a public showdown, so I snapped taking immediate action that night. 33 missed calls flooded in, each one ramping up the chaos. Before I dive deeper into my story, I'd love to know what time you're listening and from which city. It's amazing to see how far these experiences reach. That discovery ignited everything. On what should have been my big 18th, maybe a simple dinner or acknowledgement of my independence, I sat stunned at work scrolling through 22 photos posted by my cousin Courtney at 11:45 p.m. Surprise bash for the family's favorite. I zoomed in with rising fury, mom carrying a lavish two-tier cake scripted, "Our pride and joy," dad who swore he couldn't make it due to overtime grinning as my sister opened a sleek jewelry box with what looked like custom earrings. My aunt who lives hours away and skipped my recent award ceremony blaming traffic posed front and center. My uncle's crew absent from my life for months laughed in the shots. Even grandmother frail and housebound had been wheeled in for the event. The details fueled the fire balloons clustered in my sister's signature teal, a banquet of gifts including the high-end phone I'd researched for my own upgrade but delayed to cover her bills. The venue, grandmother's cozy Miami suburb home where I'd spent countless weekends helping with chores while my sister lounged. Timestamp on the last photo, 11:55 p.m., 5 minutes shy of my official birthday. At my retail desk surrounded by customers, I felt the isolation peak. No team card, no boss nod, just this slap. They'd blown the $400 I sent for a family special, assuming it was for mom's milestone on her vague opportunity, hype, likely another flop audition. I hammered out heated responses but trashed them, settling on that rent jab to expose the hypocrisy. Posted, replies surged, aunt gushing, "Perfect night for our star, Courtney, wish you could have joined but she needed this boost." No birthday shout-out, no invite query. Mom's strike. At least one child deserves the fuss. It shattered any doubt I was the afterthought. Piles more, uncles thumbs up, relatives tagging my sister for updates. Her retort to me, "Relax sis, mom's got favorites. Step up your game, LOL." The casual stab twisted, belittling my shifts, my savings, my silent bailouts. Fingers trembling, I usually back down for peace. "Not on my 18th. Replied, "Savor it while it lasts." And subtle threat, they'd brand me envious. Phone erupted, Courtney first. "Lauren, happy birthday." She rushed, shocked. "You knew, of course. The party. I questioned your absence." Mom claimed work overload. Lie burned, I'd freed my calendar. "That money I sent was for this." Dad pitched it as collective. "God, Lauren, that's wrong." Her upset echoed mine. Dad's text pinged, "Happy B-Day, kid. Helping your sister prep. Soon." No regret, no visit nod. Calls mounted to 33 by closing time, mom's frantic, sister's desperate, dad's sparse. A coworker spotted my tension. "Rough day," nodded, but internally the storm brewed. This 18th meant for freedom exposed the trap. I clocked out early, headed to my Coral Gables spot, a basic rental I'd hustled for. Solo, I dissected photos again, cake $300. Easy, necklace pricier. Realization hit peak, no more enabling. Action time. The sting of that party post burned, but it wasn't new. It just laid bare a pattern carved deep from childhood in our Miami suburb. I was the responsible one, always picking up the pieces while my sister got the spotlight for existing. At 8, I begged for a simple birthday, picturing a backyard barbecue with school friends and balloons. Days before, my sister Jennifer Foster whined for a dance class. My birthday money, $200 saved from chores, went to her lessons. Mom promised we'd celebrate later, but that plan vanished like Dad's visits after their divorce when I was 12, Jennifer 9. The split tore through our house like a summer storm. Dad Paul Foster packed for a downtown condo, his weekend promises fading to occasional calls by my 13th birthday. Mom Michelle Foster battled anxiety, leaving me to fill the gaps. I cooked pasta dinners, balanced her checkbook, chased Jennifer to finish math homework while she slammed doors, yelling I'd ruined her life by taking Dad's side. Mom's response was to buy Jennifer new sneakers or take her to the mall to ease her moods. When I asked why Jennifer got a pass, Mom sighed, "She's sensitive, Lauren. You're the rock, you handle things." By 14, I was pulling straight A's, running track for school, and working weekend shifts at a smoothie shop to stash college funds. My first track medal, a silver in regionals, landed the same afternoon as Jennifer's school play audition. I stood alone at the award stand, scanning the crowd for family. They were at her audition, cheering her bit part in a cancelled show. That night they brought home ice cream to celebrate her effort. Dad's voice crackled over the phone. "We're proud of you too, kid, but Jennifer needs encouragement more." It kept going. At 15, I was the one fixing the garage door when it jammed, calling the electric company to dodge shutoffs because Mom forgot bills. Jennifer skipped classes, partied with friends, and got a new phone for trying harder at school. My straight A report cards were tucked in a drawer while her C average earned a family dinner. When I graduated high school with honors at 17, the ceremony overlapped with Jennifer's dance recital. They chose hers, texting me, "Big congrats, we'll do something soon." Nothing came. I'd swallow the hurt, play the good sister, keep the peace, but each slight stacked up, fueling a quiet anger that simmered under my skin, ready to boil over by my 18th. That simmering resentment from years of being sidelined pushed me into a role I never questioned until recently: family ATM. By 16, I was working full-time summer shifts as a sales associate at a Miami retail chain, juggling community college classes for a business degree. I'd moved into a cramped Coral Gables studio, scraping by on wages to cover rent and loans. Meanwhile, my sister Jennifer was 14, living with Mom, and already racking up expenses she couldn't handle. When she begged for help with her first apartment deposit at 15, claiming it'd help her focus on school, I sent $600 against my gut. Mom called it a rare moment of sisterly support, unaware it was just the start. For 2 years, I funneled money to Jennifer, $15,000. Total $400 to $600 monthly for her rent, utilities, even car repairs when she got a beat-up sedan. I set up direct payments to her landlord, Mr. Whitaker, after he called me about her missed months. She never knew I covered half her rent, and I stayed silent at family dinners while she moaned about tight budgets. She'd spin tales of retail promotions or big auditions, and Mom and Dad would beam planning dinners to celebrate her hustle. My own milestones: graduating community college, early landing a steady retail job, got passing nods, maybe a quick text. "Good job, Lauren, keep it up." Last Christmas, Jennifer announced a fake promotion at her clothing store job. The family toasted her success over turkey at Mom's house. I overheard her later whispering to Mom she'd been fired months earlier for skipping shifts but didn't want to dampen the holiday. I said nothing, even when she texted me days later about a looming electric bill shutoff. I sent $500 thinking it was urgent. My 17th birthday passed with a single message from Mom: "Happy birthday, helping Jennifer with applications, call soon." No call came. I spent it alone, ordering takeout, telling myself it didn't sting. A month before my 18th, Dad asked for $400 toward a family surprise. He kept it vague, said it was for something meaningful we'd all share. I wired the money, assuming it was for Mom's upcoming anniversary. I'd been quietly proud, thinking I was part of something uniting us. But the truth was uglier. Those dollars funded Jennifer's party for a non-existent audition, while my birthday got nothing. What shifted the scales was a conversation with my coworker Brandon Patel. We'd started at the store together, bonding over late shifts and customer complaints. Over time, he became a friend. Then something closer: coffee runs turned into late-night talks, a spark forming. After the party post, I spilled everything to him over coffee at a diner near work. My hands shook as I showed him the photos, the comments, the dismissal. "Lauren, you're exhausted," he said, voice steady. "You're pouring money and energy into someone who lies while your family applauds it. You're not their bank, wake up." His bluntness hit hard like a mirror to my enabling. I started noticing Jennifer's patterns clearer. I'd helped set up her email for job applications, so I still had access. A quick check showed warnings from her store manager, tardiness, attitude issues, then a termination notice 6 months back. She'd been jobless since, spending my money on weekend getaways and designer bags, posting about them with vague captions like, "Living my best life." Meanwhile, Mom and Dad threw that party for her big audition, never questioning her story. My role as the invisible supporter felt heavier, my own life shrinking to cover her lies. That night at the diner, Brandon leaned in. "You deserve better than being their safety net." His words lit a spark. I wasn't just angry, I was done playing the fool. Brandon's words at the diner flipped a switch. I was done being the fool, but exposing the truth meant digging deeper than ever. That night, alone in my Coral Gables studio, I reopened the Facebook album on my laptop, each photo slicing sharper as I pieced together the betrayal. The cake, $300 minimum from that boutique bakery Mom called a splurge. Decorations, teal balloons. Custom banners, fairy lights, easily $200. Gifts piled high, a designer necklace in a velvet box, a new phone, the exact model I'd been eyeing for work but couldn't justify. The banner read, "Proud of you forever," hung where my high school art once sat. My $400 sent for a supposed family milestone had bankrolled this celebration for Jennifer's fake audition. I needed proof to unravel her lies. Since I'd helped set up her email for job applications, I still had access. Logging in felt like crossing a line, but Brandon had texted tips earlier, simple steps to check without tripping alerts. I scrolled through months of messages hot syncing. A termination notice from her clothing store job dated 6 months back cited chronic lateness and customer complaints. Another email warned of utility shutoffs, balance over $500 despite my recent transfers for her bills. She'd been jobless, spending my money on trips to Key West and flashy purchases posted online with captions like, "Treating myself." I cross-checked bank records on my app, pulling up every transfer, $15,000 over 2 years, monthly payments of $400 to $600 for her rent, utilities, car fixes. Text from Mr. Whitaker, her landlord, confirmed she'd missed payments before I stepped in. Screenshots of the party comments, "Moms, some daughters are worth the celebration. Jennifer's chill, sis, step up your game," burned into my memory. Each piece built a case undeniable and airtight. Friday night, I spent 3 hours at my desk, laptop glowing, coffee cold. I compiled everything into a single file: bank statements, termination email, utility notices, Facebook screenshots. Brandon called to check in. "You sure about this?" he asked, voice calm but probing. "It'll blow up your family." I hesitated, fingers hovering over the keyboard. Years of keeping peace, swallowing slights flashed through my mind. Mom's excuses, Dad's absence, Jennifer's smirks. What if they turned on me, called me cruel? Brandon cut through. "You're not the villain for wanting respect. They've taken enough." His push steadied me. I wasn't just exposing Jennifer, I was reclaiming my life. The plan took shape. First, I logged into my bank app and canceled the auto transfer to Mr. Whitaker, $600 set for Monday. Done. Second, I drafted an email to him. "Dear Mr. Whitaker, I'm halting payments for Jennifer Foster's rent effective immediately. For 2 years, I've covered her costs without progress towards self-sufficiency. Please contact her directly moving forward. Thank you, Lauren Foster." Sent without a second thought. Third, the big move. An email to Mom and Dad, Jennifer CC'd. "I've supported this family for years, financially and silently, while you've ignored me and celebrated Jennifer's lies. My money funded her party, not a family event. I've sent $15,000 to keep her afloat while she's been jobless for 6 months, misusing funds. Attached is proof. This ends now, I'm done. Respect my choice. Lauren." My cursor lingered over the send button. This would torch bridges, anger, accusations, maybe permanent rifts. Mom would call me selfish. Dad would push compromise. Jennifer would play victim. But the weight of their dismissal, stacked against my years of giving, tipped the scale. Brandon's text pinged. "You got this. You're worth more." I exhaled, clicked send, and shut my laptop. The fallout could wait. For the first time, I felt a flicker of freedom, like I'd cracked open a door to a life not defined by their needs. Whatever came next, I was ready to face it head on. Clicking send that night felt final, like slamming a door I'd held open too long. Saturday morning, I woke to my phone buzzing, texts, voicemails, emails piling up. Mr. Whitaker had called Jennifer about the cancelled payment, and my email to Mom and Dad had landed like a grenade. By noon, 12 missed calls from Mom, 9 from Jennifer, 5 from Dad. Texts ranged from pleas to accusations. "Lauren, fix this now," from Jennifer. "This is cruel," from Mom. I ignored them, heading to my retail shift, focusing on folding shirts to stay grounded. At work, my phone vibrated nonstop. Mom's voicemail, "Lauren Foster, this is unacceptable. Your sister's in tears. You're risking her home over jealousy. Call me." Dad's "let's talk sense," cutting her off, is too harsh. I deleted them, but the pressure built. Around 3 p.m., Jennifer stormed into the store. Mascara streaking, voice loud enough to turn heads. "You're ruining my life," she yelled. Customers, glancing colleagues, whispering behind counters. "Why would you do this?" I stayed calm, guiding her to a corner. "Jennifer, you've been jobless 6 months, spending my money on trips. Those are your choices." She sobbed louder. "You're heartless." My manager shot me a look, but I kept steady, escorting her out. "Handle this outside work," I said, voice firm despite my shaking hands. Back home, the chaos escalated. Aunt Julie emailed, "Family loyalty matters. Lauren, rethink this." Grandmother's voicemail trembled. Your grandfather would be ashamed. Courtney texted, I saw the email. Didn't know you paid so much. Why didn't you say? I didn't reply, but her message felt like a crack of light. By Monday, Jennifer's landlord emailed me a final notice eviction proceedings unless paid in 3 days. Then Mom called, voice sharp, you've gone too far. Reinstate the payments now. I held firm. Mom, she lied about her job and misused my money. I'm done. She was going to tell us. Mom snapped. You're too sensitive. I hung up, heart pounding, but resolve intact. Tuesday night, the storm hit full force. Doorbell rang. Mom, Dad, Jennifer, Aunt Julie, and grandmother stood at my Coral Gables apartment door. I let them in, blocking the urge to shut them out. Jennifer collapsed on my couch, crying dramatically. Mom perched on a chair, glaring. Dad stood stiffly, Aunt Julie beside him. Grandmother clutched her cane, frowning. No one spoke at first. Mom broke the silence. This vendetta ends now, Lauren. Be the bigger person. Help your sister. It's not a vendetta, I said, voice steady. It's stopping a cycle where I give and you ignore. You're making her homeless, Jennifer wailed. You wouldn't be if you'd been honest about losing your job, I shot back. Or used my money for rent instead of Key West weekends. Dad frowned. Jennifer, you said you were still working. She glared at me. It's complicated. They cut hours, then fired me. I've been trying. For 6 months with no results, I said, pulling up the termination email on my phone. Want me to read it? Lateness attitude, let go. Mom cut in, stop attacking her. You're jealous, always trying to outshine her. Jealous, I said, voice rising. I've paid half her rent for 2 years, $15,000, while you threw her a party with my money and forgot my birthday. Dad shifted. We didn't realize it was your birthday. You forgot your own daughter's. I stared him down. He looked away. Mom pressed. Jennifer needs us more. You've always been fine alone. Because I had to be, I countered. No one else stepped up. This is punishment, Jennifer spat, because Mom and Dad care about me more. The room froze. Her words laid bare the truth. It's not punishment, I said. It's me choosing myself over someone who takes and lies. Aunt Julie chimed in. You're being too harsh. Lauren family sticks together. Courtney, quiet until now, spoke. I read the email, Aunt Julie. Lauren's been covering for years while Jennifer misled everyone. That's not fair. Her support hit deep, but Mom ignored it. You'll restart payments until she's stable, she ordered. We'll acknowledge you more. No, I said, voice like steel. Here's what happens. I'm done funding Jennifer. And I'm moving forward, literally. I've accepted a promotion in our Portland office, full-time sales lead with relocation help. Mom gasped. Portland. You can't leave, you're needed here. That's the point, I said. I've been your backup, not your daughter. No more. Jennifer sobbed. You're abandoning me. You have options, I said. Get a job, a roommate, move back with Mom. That's adult life, the one I've lived while covering yours. Dad tried mediating. Lauren, we've overlooked you, but this is extreme. It's not, I said. It's survival. Mom stood, grabbing her purse. If you walk away, don't expect to come back. I met her eyes. I've never been welcomed, Mom. That's why I'm leaving. They filed out. Jennifer trailing, still crying. Courtney lingered. I'm sorry, Lauren. You're right to stand up. I nodded, door closing behind them. I blocked their numbers, ready for whatever came next. Portland was my new start, no turning back. 6 months later, I stood at the window of my cozy Pearl District apartment in Portland, watching rain streak across the city's skyline. The move for my senior sales lead role came with a fresh start, new colleagues, a vibrant neighborhood of coffee shops and galleries, dinners with Brandon, who'd become my anchor. I'd blocked Mom, Dad, Jennifer, Aunt Julie, everyone but Courtney. No calls, no texts, no updates. I didn't check their social media or ask about them. The silence was my freedom, but it carried a lingering ache, like a bruise that fades but doesn't vanish. Courtney messaged once, 3 months, and Jennifer got a barista job, shares a place now. She's struggling but managing. I read it, felt nothing, didn't reply. My focus was here, building a life where I wasn't the family's safety net. My apartment's small, but mine had a view of Mount Hood on clear days. Work challenged me with projects I led, not just supported. Brandon and new friends filled my evenings, their laughter a reminder I could be seen for me, not my sacrifices. Looking back, I've learned 3 things. First, self-worth trumps toxic family ties. I used to think love meant giving endlessly, but cutting them off taught me I'm worth more than their dismissal. Second, setting boundaries forces growth, not just for me but for Jennifer. She's learning to stand alone, something I enabled too long. Third spot, manipulation, early favoritism, financial abuse, excuses for one sibling over another. If I'd seen those signs sooner, I might have saved years of pain. Watch for them: constant excuses, unequal praise, demands on your resources. Act before they drain you. This journey wasn't easy. The pain of losing family lingers, a wound that's healing but not gone. But choosing myself brought peace I never knew. If you're stuck in a cycle like mine, know your value. Don't wait for a breaking point to claim it. Thanks for listening to my story. If it hit home, subscribe for more stories about finding your strength and share your experiences in the comments. Your voice matters.